I've been reselling off and on, more on than off, for over 20 years. And there's one question, yes, one question that keeps coming up over and over again. And although I've answered it in many videos, I've never made just one video to address what I'm going to address in this video. And that question is, on eBay, how do you estimate the shipping at the time of listing when you haven't boxed it yet? How can you possibly estimate shipping at the time of listing? How do you do that when you haven't added the packing material and the box and the label? Some sellers go so far as to completely box the item and put it on a shelf or in storage until such time it might sell. We have over 2,900 items in our store. If I were to box everything up at the time of listing, we wouldn't have enough room. And we have quite a bit of room here. We have a garage, we have shelving, we have plenty of storage, and it's maxing out as it is, and everything is not boxed. So I think it's time. Yep, I think it's time to address that question. That age-old question that comes up over and over. Vicki, how do you estimate your shipping at the time of listing on eBay? How do you do it? It's really not that hard. I think we tend to make it hard. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I do it. We are actually going to weigh some items as if I'm listing it, pack the items, and then check the weight again. Mind you, these are items that have sold on eBay, but I'm going to weigh it without the packing material and see how well I did with my estimate. Did I come up short or did I get the weight right? We'll find out, won't we now? Oh gosh, there's so much to go over in this video that I should probably get started. Oh, and if you're new here, I'm Vicki, and my husband Mark and I resell on eBay and Poshmark, and I guess I got a couple things on Mercari now. So how do I do that? How do I estimate at the time of listing? We have to go back to basics. Yep, back to basics. Back to basics means you need to have a scale. This one goes up to 5 pounds, but we have another scale in the garage that goes up to 70 pounds. You may not need a scale that heavy, an industrial type scale. Something up to 5 pounds might just work fine for you. But if you're shipping heavier items, you might want to think about getting a heavier scale because the weight is very important at the time of listing. As far as the size, you'll need a ruler or a measuring tape. For the most part, this works just fine for me because I very rarely sell large items. And I have a piece of scrap cardboard that says save. And if I'm trying to get the height of something, well, I just rest this cardboard on top and I can get the height. Okay? Just don't throw it away. That's why I wrote save on it. Do I need my box at time of listing? Do I need my packing material? Do I need to put all of that on the scale to get the most accurate estimate for shipping? Not necessarily. I rarely have to do that. However, I do have a cheat sheet. Where is it here? I do have a cheat sheet that I made of all the box sizes that I keep on hand, including priority boxes, although I rarely ship anything priority. We offer Ground Advantage and priority both as options, but most people choose Ground Advantage. So I suggest you get a piece of paper, take inventory of any boxes that you use on a regular basis, and maybe you don't. Maybe you just use random boxes that you pick up at your local stores. And that's okay too, but if you can, make a cheat sheet showing your box sizes and weigh the box and know how much it weighs ahead of time. Put it on your list. I have all kinds of small boxes. I have large boxes. This is a favorite. It's 16 by 12 by 9. It's an eBay box, although eBay's been taking away some of their box sizes lately. This is an eBay box that's 12 by 12 by 12, and we'll talk about this later in the video. Or maybe we should talk about it now. We might as well get the basics down. If the dimensions of your box after it's packed, after it's folded up and packed, if it exceeds 12 by 12 by 12, this is 12 by 12 by 12, or any combination thereof, 12 plus 12 plus 12 is 36, 16 plus 12 plus 8 is 36. It's kind of a guideline. When you're listing your item, if any combination of your box exceeds 36, your item will need to be shipped by dim weight, DIM, dimensional weight. What does that mean? It means it doesn't go by the actual weight of the box on your scale. No. It means that your item is going to ship based upon the dimensions of the box. I'll come back to that later in the video. I just wanted to plant that seed with you that try to stay within boxes that are no larger than 12 by 12 by 12 or 16 by 12 by 8 or any combination thereof. If you're new at reselling, I suggest that you try to stay away from large items in the beginning until you have enough experience under your belt. What about your other packing material, Vicki? What about your tissue paper and your air pillows and packing paper and all that good stuff? Do you put that on the scale at the time of listing and weigh it with your item? No, I do not. I don't. Paper weighs a lot more than air pillows, and we do make our air pillows now. Not everybody can do that, but we have an air pillow machine. And tissue paper weighs a little bit less than packing paper, but no, I don't put it on the scale when I'm listing something. I think you're actually going to be surprised how I do this estimate. I think we tend to overcomplicate things sometimes. And of course there's tape and the shipping label. Oh, shipping label. We do keep a sample shipping label around. And you can see here I added my little thank you note because I put that on my packages. And I did keep the backing on the shipping label. You know, this peels off to apply it to the package. But whatever size of shipping label that you use on a regular basis, make yourself a sample. Because when you do weigh the package to print your shipping label, you better have a sample shipping label on it before you weigh it. Because a single ounce can put you over sometimes and raise the cost for your shipping. So have a sample label available at all times. Yeah, this is coming very handy. When it comes to setting our shipping prices, if it's something very small that might go into a padded envelope, we might just set a flat rate. A flat rate not being priority, just a flat cost. Say it's $4.95 for a small piece of jewelry, or $5.95 or $6.95. $6.95 is my go-to minimum charge for most things. For example, clothing or something that might need to go into a small box. If I have something that's small and lightweight, but it needs a box to protect it, I might get by with charging only $6.95 for a boxed item. But if it's small but heavy, I'm going to set it up as calculated shipping, offering both ground advantage and priority. But as I said, most buyers do not pick priority. They'll save a few dollars and just accept ground advantage. I do have shipping policy set up, and I'm going to touch on that later in the video. The first item that I'm going to show you here was small, but it needed a box, but it was under 1 pound. So I charged a flat rate of $6.95. I've got a wide variety of things for you here. One of them is the largest thing that I've ever packed, the most challenging, the most difficult thing that I've ever had to estimate and pack. And I'm going to show that to you. So we're going to have different levels of items that I've packed to ship. And as I said, I'm going to show you exactly how I weighed it at the time of listing, estimated the shipping, and what it actually was after I packed it. So let's start with a small figurine. Looking for a little angel, and I think I pulled her out. I did, because somebody inquired about her the other day and asked if I would take a lower offer. Made in Japan. You can see the crazing here. I've had her in my stash for a long time, and so I don't have a price that I pay, but probably $1. Made in Japan, girl angel with a harp figure. I accept an offer of $18 plus ship. For estimating shipping of this figure, this is what I would do at the time of listing. I would put her on a scale and weigh her. Now she's only 3.2 ounces, but she's definitely going in a box. So what I did for shipping is I just have this flat fee that I go to quite often. So when I listed her, I chose $6.95. That's just a fee that I set because I know I'm going to put her in a box. $6.95. It weighs only 3.2 ounces at the time of listing. So what goes through my mind is this. I know I'm going to have to package it carefully with some tissue paper, with some bubble wrap, and put it in a small box. I have my cheat sheet for all my box sizes that I can look at, and I can consider that when it comes to estimating the shipping. When I have something that weighs so little, even if it's going in a box, I know it's not going to go over a pound. I just know it's not. The figurine only weighs 3.2 ounces, and my box weighs under 3 ounces. We're talking less than 7 ounces. And yeah, I have to put some bubble wrap. That weighs next to nothing. Some tissue paper. There's just no way this is going to go over a pound. So I estimated this as my usual $6.95 for a small lightweight item in a small box, $6.95. Now I will say that postage keeps going up, and you got to keep up on it once in a while and double check things. And there are a few states that it might cost me a little more than $6.95, depending on where the item is going to. Could cost me a little more than $6.95, but a lot of times it costs less than $6.95. So in many cases, it's a wash. Sometimes we make some money. Sometimes maybe we're short just a few cents, depending on the state. Let's get it packed. Here's our little angel figure. Her wings are very fragile. I have some tissue paper. I take one corner and run my hand down through it, and I start wrapping. Actually, I could put a little bit of pool noodle on the back here for support. At the very least, a little piece here. I know what I'll do. I'll cut off a couple of pieces here. Put them here. I actually think I'm just going to go with the back the way it is. I'm going to wrap this around a few times, just using regular tape. Let's get another piece. Grab the corner and wrap some more. And again, just regular tape. And one more piece. This time I'm just going to wrap the whole figurine. And regular tape. Make it easy to undo. Now I just need a small box. Got one square, a large 1/2-inch bubble wrap. Got my tape. Okay, now I just need a small box. Some more large 1/2-inch bubble, although this is the end of the roll, so I doubled it. The bubble on top, and she's good to go. Give her the shape test. It's good. How much does the little angel weigh with a sample label? 8.4 ounces. I'm under a pound. I charge $6.95, and I'm good. As you saw, after it was packed, it came to only 8.4 ounces. Now, as far as USPS is concerned, they'll round that up to 9 ounces. So I will be charged for 9 ounces when I purchase the shipping label. The buyer paid for the label, but the buyer paid $6.95 for the label. But when we purchase the label, we'll be charged for 9 ounces. So my estimate of $6.95 was fine. Let's pack a coffee mug. Who doesn't sell coffee mugs, right? At least once in a while, you'll probably sell a coffee mug. It's been a long time since I sold a coffee mug. Here it is. This is the one that sold. Express Best Friend Originals. We finally sold a coffee mug. It's been part of my markdown this summer. I have no idea what I paid for it, but I'm going to guess about 50 cents, and it sold on offer for $12 plus ship. Pretty standard coffee mug. Let's find out how much it weighs. A coffee mug similar to this came to 13.6 ounces. Round that up, and what do you have? It weighs 13.6 ounces. Round that up to 14 ounces, and we still haven't boxed it yet, right? We don't have our box or packing material. So what I do is, well, I'll show you here. I automatically round that up to 1 pound, and because I know I'm going to box it, I'm going to add another pound. So I'm estimating 2 pounds for this coffee mug. Let's box it and weigh it again. Let's pack the coffee mug. I need to protect the handle. Basset hound. Make sure I have the right one. But it looks like a basset hound. All right, I need to protect the handle. Sometimes I use a pool noodle, but it does take up a little more room. Sometimes I use some bubble wrap. Sometimes I put paper through here, sometimes bubble wrap. I'm going to use bubble wrap today, and then take the 2/3 of the sheet, fold it in half, pack that around the handle. I guess it's almost as much room as a pool noodle. Place the cup on some large 1/2-inch bubble wrap, and you can see that this is not going to reach. I do have the hollow area to fill, so let's take care of that. And do the roll. Hold all this together, and this sheet, I'm going to cut down to about 2/3. So yes, I'm holding all this together, putting this on top, bringing the sides up, giving it some tape. Again, pushing this all together here, folding the large 1/2-inch bubble wrap down, folding this part up. And I'd say it's pretty well protected, but we do need a box. This box is about 8 by 6 by 4. I think it's going to fit pretty good. I might even turn it upside down in here, but I do have a little bit of room. It does move. See if I can fit another sheet of large 1/2-inch in here. Building it up too high now. Try some small. It just makes it in this box. I do need to fill in some more bubble wrap here. Get the thank you label on here. A little more bubble wrap, but are we going to be able to close it? No. I might need a bigger box. I don't want to use a bigger box. And one alternative I have is to put some few pieces of the large 1/2-inch bubble on the side where it was loose. Add a piece of cardboard to help reduce impact. Now, can I get this closed? Yes, I can. So we rounded it up to 1 pound just for the mug, added an extra pound for the box and packing material, so that made it 2 pounds. What is the actual weight for shipping? Can't be 1 pound 2 ounces. How about 2 pounds? How'd I do? Got a sample label on top, comes in at 1 pound 2.7 ounces. Now, when we print the label, we will put 1 pound 3 ounces, but as far as USPS is concerned, we will be charged for 2 pounds. So that's what I estimated when I listed it, is 2 pounds. Some coffee mugs are going to weigh more, and other coffee mugs might weigh a little bit less, but rounding it up to the nearest pound and adding 1 pound for all of your packing material is a great way to estimate your shipping for a coffee cup without packing it at the time of listing. Next, we're going to pack a couple of votive cups, not these same ones, but something similar. And I ship these all the time. Very easy to pack and ship. Now I'm looking for 2 votive cups, so I see them right here. They have like a daisy on them, little daisy or flower. It's a peg votive, that's called a peg. Sold a lot of 2 of the votive cups. Vintage dark amber glass votive daisy pattern. Bought them at a sale, some kind of sale, mega sale. Paid $1 for the 2. And they sold on sale for $16.79 plus ship. Let's go back to the time of listing. I have my scale. I put the votives on the scale. Comes in at 12.5. When I'm weighing something at the time of listing that is over 10 ounces, that's a flag to me to be more careful about what I'm estimating. Especially in the case of these votive cups. They're 12.5 ounces without a box. So the safe thing to do is, now I know that by the time I box this, it's going to be at least 1 pound, if not more than 1 pound. So I'm going to estimate 2 pounds, yes, 2 pounds to ship these 2 little votives. So the safest thing to do is go ahead and round it up to 1 pound and add another pound for the box and packaging. Next, I'll show you what they weigh after they're boxed. 2 votive cups to wrap, pretty easy. I have 2 options to wrap them for the first layer. I can either use tissue paper or this foam wrap. Let's just go with foam wrap today. And you can always find a link for the supplies that I use below the video. It's under the word more, where you want to see more, show more, whatever. They don't make it, YouTube doesn't make it easy to find, but it's there. All right, going to roll this up, tuck this in, and add some tape. Tuck this up, roll it, tuck that in, add some tape. 2 sheets of large 1/2-inch bubble. I'll wrap each one in its own little pocket here. Make sure the tape is pressed down. just got to the end of my roll of tape, so I'm going to show you quickly here how I change that. You know, this is my dispenser for my masking tape. This is my dispenser for my packing tape for the box itself, the outer box. And I need to change this. Here's an easy way to change the masking tape out. Just line this up, line it up, push down until it won't push any further because it's hit the table. Take that off and finish pushing it through until it's flush. Do be careful. This is very, very sharp. This is an industrial dispenser with an extremely sharp blade, and keep it away from children. Drop it in. The masking tape dispenser is stiffer than the packing tape, so you do have to learn how to work with it and pull on it and all that good stuff, but you know, once you do it for a while, you get used to it. And I just throw these away because they're too heavy and too stiff to use for packing material. So I've got these two little packets. Let me grab a box. This box is 12 by 6 by 6. I'll get it assembled. I have some air pillows, which we make ourselves. I guess I don't need that many. Four air pillows, 2 sheets of large 1/2-inch bubble. Slip them in. Thank you label. Checking the ends. There's a little bit of room here, so I'll just use some scrap pieces down the ends. No movement. Let's see, let's do the shake test. It's good. Turn on the scale, make sure it's zeroed out. Put the box on, put a sample label on with the backing to allow for any other labels that we might put on here, like fragile labels or allow to come to room temperature because it's glass. It's 1 pound, 3.2 ounces. When we print the shipping label, we will round this up to 1 pound, 4 ounces. However, as far as USPS charging us, they'll charge us for 2 pounds. What did I estimate for it? So the 2 votive cups came in at 1 pound, 3.2 ounces. And you might say, well, Vicki, that's only 1 pound, 4 ounces. Why did you estimate and charge the buyer for 2 pounds? Because USPS is going to charge for 2 pounds. You see, once you get past a pound, USPS charges for a whole pound. In other words, we've got the first pound and then the 3.2 ounces. Well, as far as USPS is concerned, that's going to be charged as a pound. That's where I get the 2 pounds. Hope that makes sense. I estimated 2 pounds and USPS will charge for 2 pounds. For the most part, when Mark runs the shipping labels, if it's 1 pound, 3.2, he's going to put 1 pound, 4 ounces on the shipping label. Why does he do that? It's because if we ever have to go back and track anything and there's any question about the weight of anything, you know, when the post office puts it on their scale for us to get our receipt, it's going to be rounded up to 1 pound, 4 ounces. But trust me, we paid for 2 pounds for the shipping label. So you can round it up to 2 right away, or you can just put 1 pound, 4 ounces. We like to be as close to the actual shipping weight as possible just for record keeping, but we're paying for 2 pounds. Next, we're going to weigh and ship a pewter pitcher. And I just want to say here that in all of these examples, every single buyer chose Ground Advantage. They had an option in our shipping policy to choose either Priority or Ground Advantage. But to save a few bucks, they chose Ground Advantage. And Ground Advantage goes up to 70 pounds, so that's great. You know, the days when, well, no, I won't confuse you with the past days. They've made so many changes, but I really like Ground Advantage. I really do. Because, well, I'll just say it. Before Ground Advantage, if something was over 1 pound, the eBay shipping label had to be Priority Mail. But now we can ship Ground Advantage, and I think it's just great. I love it. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about Ground Advantage. Let's go with this because it just sold. And the replacement pewter pitcher by Kirk, Old Annapolis, pattern number 431, sold on offer for $30 plus ship. I have my scale. Let's turn it on. Make sure it's zeroed out. Put this on here. 1 pound, 15.3 ounces. So the pewter pitcher came in at 1 pound, 15.3 ounces. So what are we going to do? Well, I think you've got it by now, but we're going to round it up to 2 pounds. But what about the box? Well, automatically, that's 2 pounds. I rounded up to 2 pounds. What about the box and the packing material? Add another pound. Add another pound. Round it up to the nearest pound and add a pound. 1 more pound for the box and packing material. So I would be listing this as 3 pounds. You see what I mean? It's really not that hard. You just have to round up to the nearest pound and add a pound. Is it making a little bit of sense now what I do? But let's continue. Now, as far as the measurements for what size box I need, well, let's get a ruler. All right, we have to go to the handle, and we're looking at, it's under 8 inches, so I think it's safe to say 8 by 7, so I know that I can fit this into an 8 by 8 by 8 box. So let's pretend we're going back. It's the time of listing. I estimated 3 pounds. I've taken measurements, and I'm going to say that I'm going to use an 8 by 8 by 8 box. We need an 8 by 8 by 8 box. Here they are. I've got lots of them in here. So I'm going to pull one of these. eBay box, 8 by 8 by 8. Let's see how it fits. This is how it fits without any packing. Got a couple of inches here. I'm going to put some bubble wrap, 1 sheet in the bottom. And you know what? I'm going to put some paper under it too. Next, I surrounded it with air pillows, and we make our own air pillows. It's pewter. Pewter can break, so I could fill the hollow area. What shall I fill it with? How about some bubble wrap? Oh, needs more. I did stuff some bubble wrap through and around the handle, and I have to add some more in this hollow area. Oh. I think it's good. I think we're good to go. Make sure the handle's pushed down. And you know what? I'm going to add some cardboard to the top. A little bit of cardboard to make sure nothing hits that handle. Yeah, I think that's good. I'll close it up and get it in the mail. I added extra cardboard on top. I've got the shipping label. How much do you think it weighs at this point? It's taped up. I have a sample label on top. How much does it weigh? Well, it's 2 pounds, 8 ounces. It weighed 2 pounds, 8 ounces. What are we going to be charged for? USPS is going to charge for 3 pounds. What did I estimate at the beginning? 3 pounds. This next item is absolutely the most challenging thing I've ever packed. It's the largest piece of glass that I've ever packed. Had so many fragile areas that after I bought it, I questioned myself. Vicki, why did you buy this? You know you're going to have to pack it someday. And that day came, and I had to put a lot of thought into it. But the first thing we need to do is find it and weigh it. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hun, I sold something that I don't want to pack.
I think you knew when you bought it you didn't want to pack it.
Do you want to pack it for me? We are looking for a mid-century modern Empoli tall green circus glass apothecary candy jar that's 14.5 inches high. And you know, if it's over 12 inches, it could be considered oversized. And it's
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. And it's over here somewhere. Can you find it?
Well, if it's 14.5 inches high, it's not going to fit up here. So
think elephant in the room. You know, there is an elephant in the room. And it's not you or me, no matter how much we eat.
Maybe it's hiding behind the elephant in the room.
I've been hiding it because I've been dreading the day that it sells. Yeah, I'm happy for the sale. I am. But I am nervous about packing this one. Ooh, be careful. Here, let me take that off. I put this styrofoam on it. Yeah, that's it. Hold it up a little higher here. Oh my gosh, I have never packed anything like this before, and it might be the last time I pack anything like this.
It's got a spiraled base.
What was I thinking? And we paid
what?
what?
It is hand blown.
And we got this for, I say we paid $2 for it. I don't know. Wasn't much.
It's got a pontal.
Pontal, I don't think that's showing up. All right, well, let's just get to it. I have to do it. Hey, that rhymed. but we sold it for $109. So wouldn't you say that's a woohoo? I'm trying not to shake the camera. I am nervous about this. I really am, but I have to do it. Yep. We paid a couple of dollars for it at a church rummage sale, and it sold for $109.19 plus ship. $144.39. I don't know if they're a subscriber or not. They left a note, I think, saying looking forward to receiving it. So yeah, I have to get it done. This Empoli candy dish, giant candy dish, can be a great example of what I estimated for shipping at the time of listing versus actual shipping. So I have a scale here. I'm sorry I don't have the clip to show you on the scale what it weighed, but I will tell you here what it weighed. I'm going to show you 2 pounds, 1.4 ounces, okay? Now, at the time of listing, I would automatically round that up to 3 pounds for the weight of just the candy dish. And I bet you on this one, I probably added 2 pounds for packing. And in the back of my mind, I knew that I would probably have to double box it, use 2 boxes to pack it. So yeah, there was a lot to think about with this one. So how did I estimate this tall apothecary jar, this candy jar with a lid? How did I estimate that? So I'm going to estimate 3 pounds for the candy dish and 2 pounds for packing material. I hope I estimated 5 pounds, 3 plus 2. Let's find out. I just checked, and yes, I estimated 5 pounds and a 14 by 14 by 14 box. Do I have a 14 by 14 by 14? Probably not. There are so many fragile areas on this. Where do I begin? I have the lid. I have the hollow area of the candy dish. I have this stem. I mean, it's fragile everywhere. I think I'm going to fill this part with, what are my options? I have packing peanuts, I have tissue paper, small bubble wrap, and I have packing paper. I think I'm going to use tissue paper around the perimeter. Applying gentle pressure, pushing it in the curved area. And then I'm going to use. Now the question is, am I going to turn the lid upside down to ship it? That would be great, but I can feel the glass hitting. I do believe the glass is going to hit. I have an idea though. I had this bowl that I had taken off, but I'm not sure that's going to work. I need to cut a hole in the center of this, at least a hole to the center of it. And I know this is really volatile now for just cracking. It's not perfect. I'm just experimenting here. Take one more out. That might work to not have to pack it separately. But I am going to put some bubble wrap around here or something. I'm going to wrap it with something. Let's try this. Let's put some small bubble wrap right here. Let's put this through the styrofoam and into the bubble wrap. I think I have this a little too tight here. Bear with me because I'm not positive on how I'm doing this yet. We've got this part fitting on here. Pretty good. A little bit of tape here. Take this bubble wrap, small bubble wrap, and I wrapped it 3 times. Let's put it around here and tape it. Might even put some tape over the top of it. Now let's see how this fits, making room in here. If I have to, I can reduce some of the bubble wrap in here. In fact, I'm going to take this and cut it into 2 pieces and work it around the perimeter a little bit, inside perimeter. Just a little bit on the bottom. That feels pretty good. I don't feel any glass hitting glass. Let's take a half sheet of small bubble wrap and fill this in. Well, it's going to take a little more than that, and that's okay. Not putting any pressure. I'm just placing it down in there. 2 sheets of small. Going to try folding it. Not sure if that's the right solution. This doesn't want to fit. I'm just going to cut some off. Actually, I'm going to fold it in half and fold it again so it's a little bit smaller. I'm just wrapping it around here and taping it. I still have the rim of the lid exposed here. So let's take a square of large 1/2 inch, kind of a big square. It's almost 2/3 of a sheet. And let's tape this on the top. Well, I'm going to tape it on the top, but not yet. I have 2 sheets of large 1/2 inch. Remember, this is just sitting down in here. It's not really very secure yet. I could tape it to the glass, but I'm trying not to do that. Now I have the stem. Yep, the stem, and it's too big for a pool noodle. Otherwise I would use, a swimming pool noodle, but that's not going to work. So I have some 2 sheets of large 1/2 inch bubble wrap. I'm going to attempt to start wrapping it. I'm not liking what it's doing, so I need to figure out the height of this. I'm going to cut some of this off. Cut it down a little bit. Again, it's 2 sheets of large 1/2 inch. I hope you can see okay. I'll raise you up a little more. And hope this camera does not fall on what I'm working on. That's my biggest concern. So I cut this down a little bit. And I'm going to attempt to wrap it around here as snug as I can, but without really putting any pressure, if that makes sense. Two more sheets of large 1/2 inch. Let's see here. It's going to even make it. Doesn't quite make it. I need 3 sheets of large 1/2 inch. I am still concerned about them taking this off and this slipping off. I feel like I have no choice. Well, I do kind of. I still have this that I'm going to be putting on top. Let's go back to this. Let's add another layer. Odd shape to pack for sure. It's not doing what I want it to do. I think it's slipping. So I'm going to go ahead and get this taped off here to that first layer as much as I can so that it doesn't shift on me. Now I can get some leverage. And you can see that it's not wrapping tight. It's not. But I can kind of take care of that. I just need to get this up over this rim a little bit. That's what I'm trying to do. Get some bubble wrap up over the rim. Oh, sorry about that. I just stepped on bubble wrap. That's all it was. Okay, before I tape this down, I'm going to put this piece on top. In fact, I'm going to put a bigger piece on top. A big square. And I'm going to start taping it down. All 4 corners are going to get taped down. Oop, I didn't catch it right. I wasn't seeing it. Now, this is all loose down here. It's all loose. So let's start with a large piece of tape and start pulling it all together. It wasn't long enough. Pull that together. Start tightening up the bottom. Pull it together. I'm going to tape this down. I use masking tape because it's cheap. I can use all the masking tape I want and not feel like I'm wasting money. Have a little mushroom going on here. Okay, does it look like a mushroom? Big old mushroom. We still have the bottom to work on. I still have some area here that I feel the bubble wrap is thin. Remember this strip that I have left? Let's put that around the bottom. I'm gonna lay this down now. Okay, got that. I still have the glass bottom to deal with. And I think to do that, I'm going to use some cardboard. I'm going to, actually, I may not have to cut it. I think I can bend it. I really want the bubble wrap right up against it. Can't quite make up my mind. So just like I did the mushroom top, I'm going to tape this all the way around. And then I'm going to tape each one of these little wings down. Guess I could have gotten one long piece of tape, but it's just easier right now for me to work with individual pieces. And I'm trying to make sure all the tape is pressed down. That's not always an easy feat. Just pop the bubble. And this is kind of tape does wonders. It helps. I'm still thinking about adding this cardboard to the bottom. Add a little more tape to secure that cardboard. You know, it's looking pretty good. I still have this narrow area here, and I typically try to square things up, or in this case, make it more like a rectangle. So with that said, I'm going to take another piece of large 1/2-inch bubble wrap and cut off a section and start here and wrap this all the way around. It's not quite rectangular, but I have another piece, so I'm going to pick up where I left off and do this again. I honestly feel like the foot could use more protection. I really do. So I'm going to take another piece, three pieces of large 1/2-inch, and I'm going to cut a strip. I don't want to get this underneath the bottom, but I do want to have it around the perimeter of the bottom. I think I've got it. I think I've got it as well protected as I can. Now, what size box am I putting it in? We are talking about, right now it's just over 12 inches. And it's under 9. I grabbed an 11 by 11 by 7 box. Now I know that the height isn't right, so therefore I grabbed 2 boxes. So let's just do a test fit here, because I do have to add more packing material. This is what we're looking at, and I think this is going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and get one assembled. We'll start with 1 box. Test fit. You can see I've got plenty of room around here to put some air pillows and bubble wrap. I'm going to put 4 sheets of large 1/2-inch bubble wrap on the bottom. It's time for air pillows. Still moving too much. More air pillows, 2 in each corner. Two air pillows here on each corner, 1 air pillow here on each corner. Okay, that's pretty good. Thank you, label. Obviously the box is not tall enough and I have to put another box on top. But I have some cardboard, scrap cardboard. And I'm going to, at least on 2 corners, at the very least on 2, make this at least as high as I need it, a couple inches higher than the jar itself. Another scrap cardboard. I'd like to have 4 of these, but the problem is I don't have any scrap cardboard right now that's tall enough. Put some more air pillows in here. I'm intentionally not taping up the sides of the box right now. I want some flex in it. And then I'm going to need bubble wrap on top, which I put 4 on the bottom, and I might just do 4 on top. 4 sheets of large 1/2 inch. The reason I'm not doing air pillows is because this is flatter surface to work with. All right, here goes nothing. I know it's hard for you to see, but I've got you up as high as I can. I've got the other box, and I'm going to do my best. Slide it down over top. Whoops. I need to be on the outside here. Trying to do this kind of blindly. I'm working. The bottom box flaps in. As I'm pushing this down, what I need to do is make sure I can close these flaps up before I go much further. You can see how it won't close. I need to pull this back a little. I'm going to go ahead and tape this because I'm going with this idea. And right top open on here. Open here with arrows. I didn't put the word here, but you know what I'm saying. I've got this as far as it will go. Now I can start taping the sides. Yes, I have a little opening here. I wasn't able to cover the flap completely, so I have this little slit here, this little opening, but that's okay. I'm going to start with, just going to make sure it's together where I want it, and then I'm going to tape each flap down. I'm just going to do each flap first and rotate it. Let me show you what I'm doing here. I'm taping each flap together, rotating it, tape the flaps together. Now I have to secure the box here, the top box I have to secure here and here. So now I just start taping like crazy. I have to tell you, if a subscriber ordered this, I think they purchased it just so they could see what I'm going through to pack it and hoping that I'll show it to you. And I'm showing it to you. But there's something else I do besides just tape around here. I'm going to make sure I have tape this way. I hope I'm not over 5 pounds. I really don't think I am. I think it's really close though. That took a lot of time and effort to pack. I don't think I'll be buying another one anytime soon. Yeah. I hope you hung in here with me and learned some things from that packing job, because it was challenging. So it's all packed up. Let's take it out to the garage and see what it weighs. Let's see how I did with my original estimate at time of listing. Let's go out to the garage and weigh it. And take along a sample label. It's on the scale with the sample label. What does it weigh? Under 4 pounds, 3.95. So woohoo! It's under 5 pounds. It's only 4. I thought it didn't feel quite like 5. It's good. I think it's important to understand shipping policies. Next, we're going to jump over to eBay and talk about shipping policies and I'm going to show you the various shipping policies that we have set up. Sign into your eBay account, go to your seller hub and find your shortcuts and go into and choose site preferences. And under selling, choose business policies. This is where we create our shipping policies. I'm sorry, it's cutting off a little bit on the left-hand side. To create a policy, you just create it right here. You can create a payment policy. Perhaps you want immediate payment due. You can create a return policy, and you can create shipping policies. And you can create numerous policies. I have many shipping policies. So let's take a look at those. All right, I have some payment policies set up, but let's go down here a little further. It's defaulting to the one here. I've got a padded flat rate envelope. We're not going to talk about that. But you can see here where I have a $3.95, $3.95 plus one additional. I use that for jewelry and craft leaflets and things. I have a $4.95 plus $1. I may never need this $1 plus $1 for each additional, but I can use it for the $3.95 or the $4.95. And over to the right under description, you can see those are defaulting to Ground Advantage. And then I have several set up for $5.95. I don't know why I have 3 of them here, but I'll check on that. Here's my $6.95. Let's take a look behind the scenes on the $6.95. You name the policy, whatever you want it to be. I have it $6.95 GA for Ground Advantage only, for the U.S. only, and then 2-day handling. No international on this one. And you just choose here if you want flat cost to everyone or calculated. This is a flat cost to all buyers. I chose Ground Advantage, but you can open this up and choose your shipping option. And it's $6.95 for the first one and $6.95 for each additional one. We are on 2-day handling time, so you can choose that. No international shipping. I have a list of countries that we're excluding, and then you save it. I didn't make any changes, but I'll save it. Here's the one I use the most. You see it here where it has an asterisk, use this. I flagged myself that this is the one I want to use most often. And that is for anything that's over my flat charge of say $6.95. Let's go in and edit this just to take a look at it. I'm not going to change anything. I named it, use this, calculated GA for Ground Advantage or PR for priority, 2-day handling. And then you can do another policy description here if you want in the box, any notes that you want to make. And this is set up for calculated. Cost varies by buyer location. And you can see I have 2 options here. I could remove this service and have 1 option, but I have 2. I have Ground Advantage. Here's the box. I have Ground Advantage. And you can choose your options or priority mail. I do not have free shipping. Handling time is 2 business days. No international shipping on this, and I have shipping locations excluded. Let's save it. Aside from my $3.95, $4.95, $5.95, $6.95, on everything that I estimate is going to be over 1 pound, this is what I use. Use this. As I said, most buyers choose Ground Advantage over priority. You can set up as many of these as you'd like. And you can see I have one here, glass fragile, where I add a $1.95 fee for the extra time that it takes to pack some glassware. Media mail, truly you just set it up for what you want it to be. Let's take a look at eBay's shipping calculator because you might find it quite handy should you wish to experiment with where you live, your zip code versus the furthest distance away from you. And get an idea in case you want to set a flat shipping cost like we do, the $4.95, $5.95, $6.95. Their calculator might be handy for you. Want to do some research to find out what it might cost you to ship something at a flat fee to your buyer? Go to eBay's help page and type in shipping calculator. Take this off a letter. It will default to letter. Choose package. Put in your box dimensions that you think you might use, or just put in 12 by 12 by 12 if you want. 12 by 12 by 12 box is going to weigh more than others, but if you think it's going to be an 8 by 6 by 4 box, so be it. If it's going to be under a pound, put in 15 ounces here. Put in your zip code. Ours is 37664. Not going to put any handling fees in. And since I don't know exactly where it might be shipping to when it sells, I just choose a zip code that's very far away from us, 90210. Calculate the shipping. There's our package dimensions, the 15 ounces. Now, in-store rates versus eBay rates. I don't really care about what it's going to cost to take it to the post office and get a label because we're going to print our labels from home. So I would suggest you choose eBay rates. And you can see here it says Ground Advantage would be about $6.66. What do I estimate on a regular basis? For the most part, $6.95. And then it gives you your priority mail options. But if you're using a business policy, you really don't have to think about it. You can just set up something like this one that I use all the time and not have to put much thought into it. Let the buyer decide. That way, all you have to do when you list it is put your estimated weight. What do we do? Round it up to a pound, add 1 pound, sometimes 2 if it needs double boxing. And if it's not going to be over 12 by 12 by 12 or 16 by 12 by 8, you should be just fine. But this eBay shipping calculator can be handy to give you an idea. For instance, let's just go back and do one more. Let's go back to change it. You can change it right here. Let's say that we have the same box size, but we have something that's only 10 ounces. Zip codes are the same. Let's calculate. So 10 ounces. It defaults to in-store rates. I suggest you change it to eBay rates. And here we are, Ground Advantage, $5.62. And priority mail would be $10.07. I rarely use this, but if you're trying to come up with an idea from where you live to the furthest distance from where you live, well, you might get some ideas from here on how to set a flat rate for your buyers. Hope that helps. I chose a random listing so you could see behind the scenes the shipping policy. You can open this up and you can see I chose use this, calculated GA or PR, but I have all of my shipping policies right here. So it's very fast and easy when I'm listing. You can click on here and create a shipping policy or edit one, but I already have mine set up. And you can see this item is 5 pounds and I estimated 12 by 12 by 6 for the box. So that's just a quick look behind the scenes. I mentioned dimensional weight in the beginning, so let's take a quick look at that. And anytime you need a refresher, I suggest you just go out and look it up on Google and you'll find it right there. But let's take a look at it. Although you can check Google for a lot of things when it comes to dim weight, I advise that you go directly to USPS because in this case, Google said 139 and that is incorrect. The current divisor is 166 as shown here from the USPS website. Dimensional weight applies to large, lightweight packages. And if your package is larger than 1 cubic foot, what is a 1 cubic foot? Well, an example is 12 by 12 by 12. To calculate dim weight, you multiply the length times the width times the height and divide by 166 to get the dim weight in pounds. If the dim weight is greater than the actual package weight, you'll need to pay the dim weight price. And then they go on to show you an example and share some more information. Check the USPS website for non-standard fees for long and large packages. And always check the USPS for updates. I don't know about eBay because we actually don't print our shipping labels through eBay, but we do know now that on Pirate Ship, not sponsored, but on Pirate Ship, when we put in the box dimensions, it automatically calculates the dim weight for us now, the dimensional weight. So if you think that the number that you're getting from eBay is not showing the correct weight, then you'll need to adjust for that and put the true weight, the dimensional weight, if you have a large package. What is large? Something over 12 by 12 by 12, something over 16 by 12 by 8, something where the combined dimensions exceed 36. And as I said, you can always go back and Google dimensional weight, DIM, dim weight, for a refresher, because I'm sure it will come up eventually as you start to sell larger items. I hope you'll come back to this video if you need a refresher, and I hope you take away from this video not to overthink it. Round up to the nearest pound, add another pound, 2 if you're double boxing. It doesn't have to be super complicated. And am I ever wrong? I can't say I've never been wrong, but I'm rarely wrong with this method. I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so. It really helps our channel out. Been at this for over 4 years now, and I'd love to get to 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year. So if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Thanks for watching. I'm Vicki with Avante Avenue, and Mark and I will see you soon.